All right.
All right.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
all that.
All right.
So we're going to have a smooth show.
Go, Roy.
All right.
And go.
And go. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Loose Screws podcast. I'm your host, Roy Cookson, and it's the 322nd episode for the 6th of March, 2026.
3302. Friday.
Ish.
Okay.
We're ever going to explain that opening?
No.
Oh, my God.
Nope, we're just rolling.
This week.
Baby. So I take it we
This
voted
week.
Roy to host while I wasn't here. Got it.
Yes.
Roy did a lot of great
It was-
prep, and I just am thrilled.
And there was
He's
nothing
got those
democratic
dulcet
about it.
tones.
So,
level.
this week I'm joined by Commander Chig, Commander Jan Trax, Commander Oblivious, and Commander Audaxius. It's been another very eventful week with a great charity event over the weekend and a lot of activity with the squadron. But first, let's check in with the crew. Chig, what have you been doing in real
Oh my
life and in game?
New job, so like 13 hours a day I've been working. And so I feel like I let the squad down because I couldn't really help a lot this week. I jumped in a couple times and
Oh,
did a
but
few
you did
things to
yeoman's
help
work
out.
the week before, so don't
Yeah,
feel bad.
well, I did like I'd sneak in a ground CZ here and there to help the GBS or whatever the hell it's called, and then I'd
The GPS.
I'd haul some rarities of some kind, and then I don't know, then what else did I do? I tried to do that each night. I'd do like one quick load, and then that's what she said, and then I'd do a quick ground CZ because for some reason there were no space CZs because this game is so awesome. And then randomly midweek I threw a bunch of shade at Audaxius for no apparent reason. So yeah, it was a productive week.
It was a good week.
All right.
I'd like to take pride that I contributed.
Shady Dax.
He's over there. I'm part of it.
Anything else, Chig? You good? Anything else?
I got nothing else. No.
All right, let's kick it over to Jan Trax.
Okay. Can you repeat the question?
What have you been doing in real life and in game?
No, I'm just kidding.
Already.
Had lots of fun doing the charity stream, which was fantastic, blew away its goal and was so fun. And like, sure, did we win by a landslide and basically have to give them a bunch of charity point multipliers? Sure, but does that really matter? Yes.
Yes.
And then besides that, the Kestrel is the Kestrel update is basically what I asked Frontier to build many months ago on this very podcast, and it has me questioning my existence. Do they actually listen to me? It's just so exactly what I asked for. It's weird, and it's making me uncomfortable, but I'm going with it for now, and I have done nothing but fly the Kestrel around and test many gun layouts and kind of learn all about the little intricacies of our new and updated shot cannons, and holy cow, is it a lot of fun. I'm like, there are times when I'm like, boy, I've been shooting a lot of ships. I don't know if I even feel like it anymore, is a measure of how much ships I've been shooting. So, yeah, that's
Very good. We'll be getting into that, digging into that for sure a bit later in the show. Looking forward to that. All right. Oblivious, what have you been up to?
Do I have to answer in the form of a question?
Anyway, Mr. Speaker, I yielded all of my in real life time to the Honorable Mr. Chig, so I'll just go to end game.
Okay.
Let's see, been fighting a lot with a bunch of feds, a bunch of archer folks, messing around in our space. It has been an absolute blast because we've been doing it as a big coordinated effort. Big teams putting in a lot of hours and proving they have no real life by putting in those hours or abusing their family or ignoring responsibility or whatever. And came up a little short, wasn't unexpected, learned a few things along the way. We may talk about that later on. But the big message is it has been an absolute blast playing with the collection of commanders that we've got out there for the last going on 3 weeks now. And I hope we can keep it up, not burn some people out. But do take a moment to go touch some grass, folks. We should take a step back. So that's it for me.
It's been
Just a little step back.
3
Just a
full
moment
weeks.
step.
We're into week 4 now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Over to Adaxius.
Yes. I have been reaping the collective benefit of a bad idea, which is to take on the biggest, baddest, most numerous bad guy in the game right off the bat. We could have picked like a small fry or like, something like a starter conflict. Nope. We just started an all-out war with the big bad guy, Jerome Archer. And me.
Well, eventually.
Me. I mean, it was literally my idea. And yeah, Oblivious is right. In the last 2 weeks, just the coordination has been fantastic. It's been some of the most fun. And I, like, even this last week, didn't necessarily have as much time in game, but the level of coordination involves so much time out of the game and talking and planning and figuring things out. I've loved it. And we'll talk about more when we get to the power play update, but I've been having a great time. And no real life mystery illnesses or, home improvements. So other than that, really good. Above average, I would say. Yeah, all things considered.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for me, in real life, nothing really to talk about. I had some business travel that interrupted my power play efforts briefly. In game, also had a great time at the special effect charity event with Lave Radio. Did quite a bit of activity for our power play efforts and loved every minute of it. We'll talk more about that, but just lots of great things there. I did manage to bathe this week, but I did forgo some meals. So one step up, I guess.
Sorry, I bathed as well. I didn't realize we had to say that.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say it. I knew that.
All right. Let's move right
bathed
past.
in the glory of beating Lave Radio.
Good thing you can't smell when voice shut.
Yeah.
Moving right along from personal hygiene, let's jump into the squadron briefing.
Incoming priority message.
Squadron briefing.
Okay, so what are we calling this now? The GBS? Is that what you said, Chick? I'm not sure.
The GBS. It's been relabeled.
GBS.
Yeah.
All right.
Happened.
So a couple of highlights. 398 systems controlling 117. I think that changed maybe one digit from last week. So that was truly exciting. State-wise, which we'll talk about it more in power play, states might be coming something to pay more attention to again from a BGS standpoint in power play. But 6 days in public holiday, if you want to take advantage of that. 7A, commas and boom, and which I always say that because it reminds me of.
Was that Klingon?
Sorry, my mic
No,
is,
that's
my
Invasion Mars.
Discord is dropping packets.
He's old.
Isn't that
It was a stroke.
Invasion Mars? That's what it sounds like to me. But they're in civil unrest, and we're expanding out of 7A. But expansion is nothing new. Alexandrinus, there's ground wars there because there's no space wars, but there should be space and ground. So yeah, BGS is is BGSing the wrong way.
GSBing.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's also some state stuff going on in Andreas from a BGS standpoint that we'd like to take care of because it could help us with some of the things that we're doing on the power play side of things. So it's the biggest deal is the terrorist attack. They want to drop a lot of bounties, not bonds, bounties, do security-related missions, and clear terrorist unidentified signal sources. I never have figured that out. I mean, if they say it's a terrorist unidentified signal source, haven't they identified it as a terrorist signal?
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's not a
Yeah.
USS anymore, is it?
Yeah,
But-
exactly.
But which one is it? You don't know. Could be
I
anyone.
don't know.
Mhm.
Anyway, we want to do that, and we're putting it out there, and Archer might be listening to this, so our OPSEC isn't that great, but
Oops.
then again, maybe we want Archer to think about this, and that's what it could be.
It's the iocane.
I don't know, but that's your
Don't
squad update.
not attack that while we don't do that not thing over there.
Right. It could be
Yeah.
unidentified. So anyway.
Yeah, this is the iocane powder routine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that you know that I know that you know.
I know that you know that I know that you know that I would do that.
And if you want to know more, come join us on Discord. Even if you're Archer, we'll talk to you, and maybe we'll tell you something that means something every other Tuesday.
Maybe.
And maybe Wednesday.
All right, let's go to Daxi. Let's go to Daxi's short PP report.
Thanks, Roy.
This is the short PP report.
Target shields offline. Target destroyed.
It's average, so get your facts straight.
All right, to start off with the 30,000-foot view, before we zoom in to the particulars, of course, as always, every week, taken with the unspoken consent from KrugerFive, our numbers master. We're in cycle 70. And guess who's in charge this week, boys? Yeah! God, that's obnoxious. Yong-Rui, 3 new strongholds, 3 new fortifieds. Alexandrinus is not one of them, but we'll get there. Kaine and Mahon still leading. Of course they are. They're the Alliance, right? They're like the Alliance is like vanilla wafers, right? They're not particularly interesting, but a bunch of people like them. They're just kind of there. 2 new strongholds for each of them. Kaine, I don't know why Kaine is so popular. I went with Mahon when the whole system started up.
What kind of cookie is Kaine like?
Like
Careful.
you know those like
Careful.
like Scottish, like those Scottish cookies that what the heck?
What in a gun,
Very
Scottish?
going with this.
Interesting.
No, you just like, I would never go out of my way to like make this my dessert. But now that it's here, like it's fine, right? Like that's the Alliance. So tough cycle for Archer. And what I love is that, see, this is what the Archer commanders don't understand, right? We're playing 4D chess. Alexandrinus it's a symbol because every control point and every merit spent in a system is not spent elsewhere, right? We all got jobs. The average age of this player base is like what, 55? 73. So
there we go.
Last week, cycle 69, nice, was neutral for Archer, like no gains, no losses. Tough cycle this week. Archer overall lost 2 systems. So
They're so busy with
here's the thing.
Alexandrinus. Hold on. Can we
Oh, yeah.
talk about the pronunciation of this system? Everybody pronounces it different. So I actually went to Google to try to do it, and like
Yes.
official, like pronunciations. There's people who have like, the YouTube where they pronounce it. It's pronounced differently. Nobody can decide how to pronounce it.
Because those are made up anyway.
It's Alexandrinus or Alexandrinus. The I is either long or short. But either way, it's Alexandrinus.
So those are the
or
only two
Alexandrinus.
options?
So
I like Alexandrinus because it's.
I like that one too.
For the sake of this conversation, I will just shift the emphasized syllable every time I say it. So for Alexandrinus, so for Alexandrinus, what they don't understand is that we are doing what my favorite kooky religious cult here in the Southwest where I live. They have this thing where they take a bunch of very quick tangent. They take a bunch of money from the federal government, even though they say the federal government is Satan. But they justify it by saying they are bleeding the beast. This is real, by the way.
I love that.
And I'd like to think it's kind of our modus operandi. So Archer lost 2 systems. Our boy Grom lost 6. The Emperor Arissa, think she's all high and mighty, lost 7. And again, as always, K5elite.com. This man has his own web URL.
Wait.
It's
Wait.
insanity. What?
Go back. What did you say Rui did?
He led the cycle. We had the most acquisitions.
He led the cycle. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
3 new strongholds, 3 new fortifieds. Yeah.
In Archer. Okay, I got it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we are winning overall. Who would have thought that when you abandon your allies to lose a war in Alexandrinus, that it actually plays out well for your power overall. So you're welcome. Anyway, the web
You're
URL.
gonna throw some shade at Serious Gov live on air, like just.
I would not denigrate the value of the time of this podcast to speak their name. So
where do you want to emphasize the vowel on that?
Yeah, fastest on the right syllable.
Yeah, I mean, we spoon feed them some of the best possible content in the war in Alexandrinus, and they don't take us up on it. So if you want to digest the power play information,
Bob.
Do they even play their own game?
No, they don't play even when they're playing the game, they're not playing their own game. Apparently, we learned that lesson this week because apparently power play is, for some people, it's Switzerland Simulator. We're going to sit back and do absolutely nothing. So anyway,
I'm noticing Trax has gotten very quiet.
Yeah, he's.
I will speak when spoken to.
It's discretion is the better part of valor. Yeah. So if we want to comment more on the week, I open it up to the panel here, including Trax, who's been suspiciously quiet.
How do you say Delaney?
Oh God.
Delaney.
Okay, random tangent. People are talking about BGS being the big system they're going to update in the future. That to me, well, later on this year, on the roadmap or
in the 5th quarter.
The napkin sketch they have, whatever you want to call it.
On leap year.
But everybody's sure that it's BGS, but doesn't that just turn into a leapfrog situation? They fixed power play, it broke BGS. If they fix BGS, it's going to break power play.
Power play.
Oh, yeah, you have to make a new song. You have to make another song.
That's why I don't think it can be BGS, because oh God.
But it's the thing that needs the most reworking, though. That's the thing. And it's a very core mechanic of the game. So
and I don't think there's any chance.
Scout needs the most reworking.
I don't think there's a single chance. I think that's a load of BGS, frankly.
BSG. It's a load of BSG.
I like that one.
GBS, giant bullshit. There we go. Got it.
If we would like to take a sliver of the discussion topic, as we were going to talk about power play, and put it here, which I think is completely appropriate, Adaxius, I would start with you, and I may think twice about this question afterwards, but without getting into any details we'd rather keep off the air, what has this past week taught you about Power Play 2 group play?
Oh my gosh. Overall, the capacity for coordination, I completely underestimated since this system came out. There is so much metagame.
Which is saying something, because you ranted about it at length.
but like what that actually looks like. I understood that with all the gameplay loops and all the numbers all contributing, I was like, this is a great framework. These last 2 weeks saw that come to fruition. I mean, like real numbers, and thank God for Kruger with the spreadsheet, because just visualizing the information, whether or not you're a numbers guy, it doesn't matter. It kind of gives you a way to be like, oh, I can like look and really see like over time, this is that. And it taught me that this assumption that, oh, it's just going to be Ashling and Archer forever. Not true. It's this pool of human effort, right? There's no natural ebb and flow other than like the decay, but whatever, right? It's just we as a player base all have only so much time in the week, and if you coordinate and present a conflict in the right space or rope people together and use the right strategy, you can get you as a relatively like minor squadron can have big goals and you can get them done. And it drives, like, Loose Screws has its own story that'll never show up in Galnet, and I fucking love it. I love it. And to me, it's so much more interesting than they're ever going to feed us about, I don't know, Lexi October, whoever the hell that is. It's Elite Dangerous first OnlyFans content creator, for all I know with that name. But we have this story that we are going to remember, like years from now. We're going to be talking about Alexandrinus. And it's going to be in the lore for all time. So if you're like, oh man, like 500,000 control points, that's impossible. It's not. You get a plan and you get a group of friends together, and you can make that bar slide whatever way you want if you put your heart to it. So I've really acknowledged fully coordination as an equally important part of this system, other than just merits and points and all that stuff.
So follow up, and maybe Oblivious might want to speak to this as well. But so power play at the moment, I feel, is much more transparent than BGS in terms of how it works. It's got different, better visuals on the map and so forth. Do you think that's a plus, or not? Like, is it better to have sort of the voodoo that goes along with BGS and you have to be an expert in it to leverage it? Or is it better to have it be more transparent for, let's say, entry-level folks to grasp what's going on? Any thoughts?
To make any actual influence in game, it really doesn't matter. That's the thing with this game. I mean, we're talking about power play right now, but literally, it's like, it's so amazing the system they've put in game and everything else, but everything we're doing to affect this, we're using things outside of game. Without Discord, spreadsheets, YouTube, forums, we wouldn't be able to do anything. I would love for somebody listening to this show to come to our Discord, come join the Discord and show me a squadron that does all this stuff using just in-game tools. That would be amazing to me. That would be like a whole culture I don't even understand, because literally we're doing all of this in, secret channels and, Discord this, and Kruger doing all this research, and we've got guys researching this and that. I won't tell you what this and that is, you know what I mean? But I mean, we've got guys over on OnlyFans looking up different size hooters to tell us what we need to do in the galaxy. It's insane how deep we're going into this to get things done right, but it's so much outside a game to do what we need to do.
Well, okay. Let's just set the baseline here. Both systems require Discord and spreadsheets and third-party tools, but doesn't PowerPlay feel a little shallower than BGS? Like, BGS has like a 47-page document that gets handed around to explain all of the interactions, and even then outside the game, right?
Yep.
And I don't know, maybe I haven't been playing PowerPlay that long as compared to BGS, but it seems to me like there are some more visualizations you can see in game that you don't necessarily see for BGS. So it maybe feels a little more accessible.
I think
Well, I
as
believe
a
That's
group,
true. I think that's true.
as a and any group is going to need the outside tools. Any individual person has a lot more in-game cues as what to do
From power play.
in power play for
I
sure.
don't mind the outside tools. I mean, in
I'm not against them.
yeah, I mean,
I hope I didn't
in
come off that way.
my head, I mean, it feels like you would be using that in real life
I've called it
in
space Google.
space. Yeah, exactly. You're gonna take advantage of that. So it's projecting those tools into the game. They're
Mhm.
part of the game for me. The thing that I did come to realize over the last 3 weeks, I have learned a tremendous amount over the last 3 weeks. Is I had to get involved into the ground game, and I am just tip of the iceberg on the ground game. So I'm learning a lot there. But the I won't say epiphany, but the thing that I got excited the most was I saw where BGS activities was impacting power play activities in a different light. Up until now, what I've been seeing was power play was screwing up BGS. From the format of what we used to think about BGS, and the best description of the BGS prior to power play and colonization, go listen to Burr's latest video cast on that. He describes what BGS is or was perfectly, but it has changed, and I had pretty much shut down on BGS in the state that it was in. But this week, I saw where BGS impacted what we were trying to do, and I didn't see it as a detriment. I saw that that's a tool, we need to factor that in, and it does, in my opinion, from where I'm looking at it right now, it gives smaller groups more power to affect larger power play groups that aren't playing the same way with factions with the BGS. So I'm still formulating in my head what to do with it, but now I'm thinking in our gameplay, in our planning, we need to start looking at it and say, okay, we want to go do X over here in this system. And part of X is let's manipulate the BGS to create this state over here or that state over there. And I'm getting really excited about thinking about it. So
you can no longer just be like a one track, working on power play or working on BGS.
It's another layer. Another
You've
layer.
seen how the state of BGS, as broken as it is right now, caused like a major significant change in what we were able to affect in power play.
Mm-hmm.
I think, to the visualizations, I'm not sure that power play is especially shallow compared to BGS. There is a lot of like little ins and outs, and there's little, I don't know if it's quite on the same level, but there's shifting of the point values of these different things. Like we were looking at all the on-foot data, and depending on what was happening, and to a certain extent, depending on the state of the system BGS, those random pieces of data where it's a power association versus power
the 5
research.
different kinds.
Yeah, they have different values, and they have different values to different powers, and they have different values to different powers in different conditions. And so I do think that actually is a little bit more analogous to the way the BGS is like on its face. It's like, well, sure, you do influence missions and you build up your thing and you can get into conflicts. But there's a bunch more layers underneath that you can get into if you want. It has absolutely no way to reference that in the game. Whereas power play, there's at least some reference, and it's been improved a little bit over time. And you can at least have some idea, and then you still have to reference. You have to go look up where people have researched the actual point values of things if you care. But I think there's plenty of room for them to circle back and redo that.
So, and that's what I think that what Roy was talking about is that double-sided sort of that. And I think that a lot of that is, yes, the systems are not perfect, but everybody's learning how to navigate within them. And that gives it a complexity that you learn, not necessarily exploits, but you learn certain things you can do more efficiently or
It's
more
techniques.
effectively.
Yeah.
And yes, you're learning
Mm,
techniques here
yeah.
and there. And then even like this week, we ran into a BGS thing that affected something that we could do well, affected that. So it's like, oh, that's a knob we can turn. And every group doing all this stuff is learning these kind of tools and are learning to do these different things and where you go. So the system is insanely complex and there are some broken aspects to it. But at the end of the day, if you're spending a lot of time doing this, you're going to know how to be as efficient as possible, as effective as possible, and learn how to do it. So the deeper I get into it, which mind you, I don't do BGS or power play, everybody. I just fly my ship and I shoot people. That's known. But I am impressed by the complexity of this. I just give suggestions in our channel. So I don't participate.
Threading off of something you said, Oblivious, what it made me think of is it's like the powers, they have hundreds or, I don't know, 1,000 systems across the bubble. But when they want to interact with a local group, it's like, you're in our neighborhood now, and we control the BGS here. And it's a different setup wherever they go, and it gives the local power that extra lever. I mean, it's not to say that people that play in a certain power can't learn BGS, but we know the neighborhood and we know how things have happened in different systems based on how the BGS has acted over maybe years, and so we have that edge, I guess you could say, in that situation.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep going here. Let's Trax. You got some dev news for us?
Sure. So on Saturday, there was this wonderful charity live stream that everybody tuned into to watch this crew. This is the reunion show, by the way. I don't think we actually said that. But
hey, we didn't say that. Yeah,
we did say that. But this is this crew of 5 commanders here, because this is the victory lap, I guess. No, but we had tons of fun. We did this thing on Saturday, and everybody who wanted to watch any Elite Dangerous content did watch that Elite Dangerous content because it was the only thing there, because the whole game was in a shambles, apparently. And so, and when we're signing in to do this thing, the scuttlebutt is like, there's a hacker and they're like deleting everyone's commanders and renaming your fleet carriers and renaming systems and all this stuff. And it got totally blown out of proportion. And basically none of that was real. So this is a fun, harmless lesson in don't believe and repeat things quite that fast. There was server instability. And actually the night before we were doing some gaming, a bunch of us, and the server started to get weird around when we were mostly starting to trickle off to bed.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of rubber banding. There was a lot of disconnects all started happening at once. That was apparently the start of it, very, very early AM over in England. And by the next day, there was major server instability. There was somebody doing some of that old hacking, right? But it wasn't anything special or novel. They were just flying a Thargoid Hydra around in the CG system, nothing we haven't seen before, and I'm sure they'll be banned. They were banned by the morning or something. But everybody thought that this like massive thing was happening. I heard something about sharing IP addresses and all this stuff, which I don't really understand why that would be scary anyway. But
scandal.
Yeah. So anyway. It was some server instability, and at the same time, somebody who claimed credit for driving a Thargoid Hydra around, and that's it.
Wait.
And they weren't really that related.
It wasn't a Hydra. It was a Corvette that could do Hydra abilities.
Oh, really?
Wait.
See, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
There was video
wait,
of that one.
wait,
enough.
wait. We're burying the lead. We have not run a long enough lap yet.
But we're getting to it. We're getting to it. We're getting to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Trust in the leader.
Careful.
All right.
We'll get to it. All right. Let's see. Galnet. We had some Galnet news. There was a story about Lexi October. Some snippets here. Ooh. Yeah, right. So this felt like a reintroduction to her, I guess.
Who?
Kind of, I'm not going to say retconning because they were just talking about things that happened before, but maybe putting it back in our memories, keeping the story warm.
We surveyed 100 commanders about Lexi October.
Yeah. It felt like
and got no responses.
It felt like a previously on Galnet News, like bringing all this stuff back, how her company, she invested in Supertech and helped them when they kind of stumbled with the Torque computing system and then produced the Artemis exploration suit. They also name dropped the Winking Cat from an event that she held, and some stuff got stolen. It felt like there was they were trying to knit some things together. So I don't think this is especially revealing, but maybe this will help give some things for us to chase down if we want to, analyze every sentence and every word and see how this plays out. Or
it sounds like something I want to do.
Yeah, right. It may just be there's no real new news about this, so they're just kind of keeping it warm and kicking it down the road another week.
Well, at least we aren't sure. Talking about his new creatine, supplement intake, or something. And yeah, I'm just gonna let it drop.
Well, and another sort of maybe it's a data point, maybe it's more confusion, but talking about the deal she's made with the powers that are still there, a coalition, and so but the way it's written, it's not really clear.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Not the actual players who decided that, right? It was her, but
it was all her.
So we don't know. We don't know if whatever. Well, we still don't know what's coming out of this. We don't know what's happening with Territora. We don't know if it's going to be something that's restricted to the powers that remained in the Enclave beyond that super awesome. What was that? Imperial Hammer engineered something or other? Was that
Jesus Christ!
The terrible railgun.
Can this section stop?
Yeah, that was a bit unimpressive.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's basically that story. So let's go right into the main part of the discussion here. We had a great time this past weekend. This team and Lave Radio, we got to be competitive, a bit ridiculous, and we raised a good amount of money for a charity that actually matters.
Yeah.
So I want to start with just throwing this out to the group. What were some of your best memorable events that you thought came from this? Why don't we start out with who'd like to start?
I'd like to start.
Okay, Trax, you start.
I have a bone to pick here. I have a problem.
Wait, is this going to go south right away?
Everything was great about that show. Everything was great about that show. And the very hard work that Katiana and Claire put in.
Absolutely.
Here's what wasn't great about that show. I don't remember the exact number, but like 30-something commanders out of a representative sample of commanders that play Elite Dangerous said that the Mandalay was the most controversial ship. And that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I'm so glad
that's all
that
I've
was
got
not
to say.
I'm so glad that wasn't the first question because we would have lost tracks for the rest of this game. Right?
Oh my God. Adaxius, what do you got? What did you remember from the event?
My absolute favorite question was name the most controversial character in Elite Dangerous, because based on the answers, if they had asked, name a character, any character from Elite Dangerous, the answers would have been exactly the same.
Seems that way.
We all
right.
Yeah, the lore is not our strong suit. Come on.
Well, they
I don't
asked
think it was
about
anybody's
capital
strong suit.
ships, or generation
ship.
Generation ships.
Oh,
both
Yeah,
teams
yeah.
are like, I think I can name two.
That
The fact that I remembered, I don't even know if I remembered. It's like you can access some ancient memory from like a decade ago. Thetis, God in heaven knows how my brain had that anywhere. That's literally, I think that's
doing the Greek. Yes, that was great.
Yeah, it didn't involve Google, I'm sure.
That's literally
Jesus
the only
Christ.
one I remember. I think it's the only one I've been to, actually. But then guessing with the Greek or Roman ones, that was a hit.
I forget which one. It was one of the Chris's. One of the Chris's that jumped in with that question. He says, "No, we're going to pass this. Those guys don't know anything about."
And Artemis, I'm like, okay,
He was right.
that's a suit in the game. I'll just say that.
Well, here's the thing: is we did a tour with Professor Awan from Canon. He brought us on a tour of like a dozen of these. How many are there? 16? I don't remember.
Yeah, that's like a
So
dozen.
we
question
all-
for next
Probably
year.
a power of 2.
We all did a tour of that. So coming to us to do on this tour, I knew that we had an advantage on it, but I knew for a fact I couldn't, I'm trying to guess some names of these. And it was funny though, that was one of the things. When one of the ones before that is, what do you forget the most in Elite Dangerous? And I'm like, limpets, Jesus Christ. And that was 80%. That was when I was against Alec Turner. I'm like, seriously, this is one question. The next question is generation ships? Come on.
Yeah. big swings.
Yeah.
Oblivious, what was your most memorable moment?
I was
today?
just totally amazed how well our strategy worked.
We had a strategy?
We
Exactly.
cleaned house.
Exactly.
Of course
Our
we did.
strategy was to show up. That was
Did you
it.
see how many points we scored? Of course we had a strategy.
Oh my God. Okay.
No,
look,
what was my
What was your
favorite
favorite?
question?
Oh,
And my
Go ahead,
favorite
Livius.
what was the question? I said, what do you like the least?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What annoys you the
my
most or
God,
something?
yes.
It
What do you
was
find most frustrating or aggravating? I forget the exact
is
word.
it the NPCs, other
NPCs,
commanders,
other
and
commanders.
FDevs, which is
And frontier developments.
everything.
And frontier developments. That was the final one.
that's all of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
else is left?
Oh,
Yeah. What else is left?
oh.
Oh my God.
Look, I'll be honest. I was very anxious going into that.
Me too.
Because
Yeah.
like we're going to be on an event with like the OG podcast, and my whole focus was like, don't screw up. Like, let's not embarrass ourselves. Let's have fun, and we got into it, and I remember I think that was the first time it came around to me, and I picked something, and I got the big big red X, and I'm just like, good Lord, my cortisol was spiking, and then we won a couple of rounds, and I was like, okay, and then we got to that generation ship question. I think that was the peak anxiety. Like, that was traumatic. Trying to, like, there was like 10 of them. It's like, oh my God, I can't even remember 2. Anyway, and then we started getting ahead, and I'm like, okay, feeling comfortable, and then it kind of turned, and it went from not wanting to embarrass ourselves to like, oh no, like the score kept going up, and they kept missing, and I was like, oh no, and I was like, what can we do? Like, this is going off the rails. What can we do? And
You're like
and then
in
we gave,
ad break there.
yeah, and then
I don't want to embarrass them.
well, yeah, it's like, how do we preserve this? And I think Trax, it was you that it was like, well, we could keep it interesting, and they offered to do like a ×4, and then here's what
And
happened,
we kept
right?
winning.
And then they lost that one, and I was like, oh my God.
Now it's
And-
like 1,000-point lead.
Oh God.
I mean, here's the
Okay.
truth: is we maybe figured out a millisecond before they did. The strategy is to pass because nobody is good at these answers.
Right.
And so if you can
Yeah.
foist any of these questions on the other team, you've got it.
Good luck, sucker.
And we got some early momentum with that, and good Lord, bless their hearts, they pushed through. They carried on through.
Well, you
and,
say bless their hearts. You asked everybody's favorite part of the thing. My favorite part is them just admitting that they got beat, because there was a lot of luck involved. I mean, even right down to the end when they took the lead in the final round because we did the 10 times. We had Cobra Mark IV, right? I mean, we did, but it just was what it was, and how gracious they were, and even taking shots at themselves in their own show at loose screws kicked our asses, and it's like, guys, literally that could have easily went the other way with passing at a different point and stuff. I mean, at one point there was, I don't remember which question it was, and we won the initial lineup. And there were 10 answers. And my team goes, we're going to go for it. And I'm just sitting here like,
it's like, what are you thinking?
There's 10 answers up there. That's where you pass. And we didn't get it. They scored those points. So, it was back and forth. But at the end of the day, that was my favorite part is I love the guys that leave. I love all those guys, all the Chris's. I don't know those guys. So fuck those guys. But I love Claire. I love Alec. I love Phoenix. I love, I chat with these guys in DMs even. And I love the fact that they just owned that we won, even though technically they won.
Yes, the score was higher for them.
They did.
Good job, guys. Good job. Well played.
No, wait,
it was good
that's
fun.
not technically correct because we got to the speed round. They were winning the last round at 10x points, put them into the lead by a few, but I didn't have very high to climb in the speed round there. So that's
the whole thing. That was what worked out so beautiful is we got a big enough lead. It almost, if you wanted to say the whole thing was staged, it could have been staged better because we got a big lead. They came back in the final round. We gave them 10 times points. They won that when we forgot an obvious ship and we would have just won outright. But the fact that they ended up winning, then we decided, okay, let's just take one person from each team for the speed round. It just worked out perfect. And that's how a charity event should go. And it was not staged. It literally, that's just how it played out. And it was amazing. And obviously Loose Screws is smarter than them. We've come to that conclusion, but
we got video evidence
for the reasons you think.
Love you guys.
Yeah, and there was no luck involved, of course. Well, I'm very appreciative of how classy they kept it and how gracious they were. Wait. When you win, you need to be gracious. When you lose, I'm just saying. Jeez. Trying to land this plane, chick.
Yeah.
So
our bastards.
Let's hope for a rematch next year. We would graciously enjoy that.
That'd be so fun.
But now both sides are armed with the strategy, so it could be a really good competition. So,
but next time
we need to try to win.
I was going to say we get to ask our Discord the 100 questions and see what kind of questions we come up with.
In there.
You guys were there. Yeah.
I was thoroughly impressed when they were reading off the contributions, the donations, how many loose screws were involved in that. Guys, you guys represented. I was a little nervous because Lave Radio's been around longer, blah, 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 that all the donations and everybody was going to be rooting for them. I felt it was pretty equal representation on the spectator side.
And if any one of you loose screws are one of the 30 that smeared the Mandalay, you're getting banned.
All right. Well,
so enjoy it while it lasts, suckers. I'm going to find you out.
Okay. Well,
join Dax.
Of course, the real winners in all of this was Special Effect and all the people they support. This campaign, this particular event raised £1,000 and 69 pence.
Nice.
So
what's a pound?
Yeah, well, it's a good amount of money. Let's put it that. They actually had to raise the goal probably 20 minutes into the thing. It had blown past 500. So well done, everyone, and well done. Thank you for everyone that contributed. It's a worthy cause. And with that, let's move on to another discussion topic that we briefly mentioned last week, but we saved for when we had the real experts here. Last week we talked about the Kestrel from a sort of a game design angle, talking about execution cost. tonight, I thought maybe we'd angle more into the engineering and the builds. Loose Screws, I think, has built a reputation for really knowing the mechanics of ship design and modules and weapons and all the rules around engineering and the builds. So here we go. And I'm going to kick it off first to Trax and ask, now that you've actually engineered and tested the ship, what's your first impressions? What has surprised you the most? What have you learned?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I thought that discussion last week, the execution costs and stuff, that was very right on point. I was doing a lot of nodding along and mm-hmming at my headphones. So,
all right, thank you.
Well done. This is great. And I think, just like you're saying, it's interesting how it's a very effective combat ship and it's very fun. It's not this all-powerful thing that people seemed to be worried about, but it is very tough. Most of the initial reaction was like 3 large hard points. In what sense is this ship small? But like the distributor is only a size 5. And the distributor in most cases is the limiting factor for what damage you can deal. And to a certain extent, how the ship flies, I suppose. But that's more whether a ship fits in your preferences, for what kinds of weapons that you like to use. So the distributor is the limiting factor, but there's still just a ton of damage that you can deal out. But what you're not doing is loading up this ship the way you would a Corsair. 3 large hard points on a Corsair is completely different than the 3 large hard points here on the Kestrel. And you got to use them appropriately. But I've spent a week now figuring out 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks? Anyway, it's been a while figuring out what I like to use it for. I'm kind of convinced that this is, again, unlike the Corsair, this is a ship that you can pretty much pick whatever guns you want. They're going to work. I think the Corsair struggles a little bit with like gimbaled guns. I think they're going to work just fine on this. And but being so agile and able to position itself wherever you want it to be makes it really interesting for guns that otherwise don't have a lot of great uses, like the shot cannons, which are a little bit of a struggle to be. They're very fun, but they're a little bit of a struggle to be super effective. It does have to be a ship that is like positionally omnipotent, basically, and this does become the kind of the best case for that. But just like you're saying, execution costs, like it is difficult to be positionally omnipotent in this ship. And I will tell you that my left hand, the stick on my left hand that controls the translational thrusters, I kind of like need to put a dead zone on it or something, because I'm finding that when I tap the boost, I'm almost always like accidentally applying a little bit of lateral thrust, and this ship just like leaps into last week. Whenever you do that by accident, if I don't let go of that stick before I push the boost, it is going to be a wild, different direction than I was expecting to be in, because you have to be so careful. And I guess that's what I mean about sort of the skill influence of it,
Would you be willing to walk through, let's say, the progression of builds that you tried on the Kestrel and which you've maybe landed on?
Yeah. Well, so first of all, it comes with the plasma shock cannons, which are plasma shock accelerators, they're called. So it's a revision of the shock cannon. It switches to being a plasma weapon type, which is to say 60% absolute and then 20/20 kinetic and thermal damage type. And it's plasma slug, so its ammo is your fuel. I think that this gun uses way less fuel than any other plasma slug in the game, because if I put any of my other plasma slug guns on, without a doubt, because this ship only has a 16-ton tank by default, right? And if with 3 of these large guns on here, I can go. I get tired of having my headset on my face long before I'm out of fuel, for real. And whereas if I put my plasma slug railguns on here, which I use all the time on lots of different ships, suddenly my fuel is a big problem really quick. So it is not the same. It's like super duper fuel economy plasma slug on this gun. But anyway, So the shot cannon is this plasma one is a burst fire, which I think is good. It makes it easier to control. It's a very effective shot cannon. It's actually a little cooler, a little lower thermal load than a regular shot cannon, and the DPS ends up being a little bit higher. It's a little hard to figure because of the burst fire versus sort of a constant fire of the regular one. But overall, if you can fit a plasma shock on here, it's superior to a regular shot cannon, at least marginally. But the other thing is this update, this stealth update that happened to the regular shot cannons. This is what has me jumping up and down out of my seat because it's fantastic. So they fixed the ammo problem, which really was, in my opinion, the only problem with the shot cannon. And pumping that ammo up to 880, I think, per gun. 880 plus 16 in the magazine. And so the regular shot cannon is a pure kinetic gun. But the other change they made, and it ends up being way more important than I realized, but they make it a fully automatic gun instead of being a semi-auto. So previously it was sort of as fast as you can pull the trigger, it will shoot. And the faster you shoot it, the more wild the jitter starts to get. So the first round is deadly accurate, and then after that they start to go wide. So you got to be careful with it. You got to space your shots out. But if you're up close, you can mag dump the thing and pour out just a ton of damage and a lot of heat into your ship. It's really fun. It's really fun to use. The new gun can be used that way too. With the burst fire, kind of restricts it a little bit. It makes it easier probably to handle overall, but you can still hold that trigger down and end up doing kind of a mag dump thing. The other mechanic about this gun is that the magazine refills in the background, kind of like an auto loader on a multi-cannon. If you fire it very fast, you can run it dry, and then you've got a 5-second reload time to deal with. But if you don't run it dry, it'll just keep refilling, and you'll never have that reload animation. So if you space it out carefully, it can work really, really well. So I started playing with some things. I tried the shot cannons mixed with rails because I like to have like a long range, short range sort of pairing on a combat ship. Works good, but the fuel's kind of an issue, like I said. But I wanted to try other things. It's also not the best railgun ship because the aiming is so fast. Makes it pretty tough. Like I can hit railgun shots. It's pretty much the hardest ship I've ever shot railguns in. So not perfect for that. And it's so, what did I say? Positionally omnipotent that like, maybe I don't need a long range gun. Maybe I just get in everybody's face all the time. And that's completely different to how I've been flying all combat for like a year. So this is exciting, right? And new. So then I thought, the guns are 3 of those plasma shocks. Oh my God, this is like a TED talk. Anyway, 3 of those plasma shocks in large size. It's so hot. It drains this relatively small distributor so much. What can I do here? And then I have this sort of brain blast, right? Well, the other shot cannons, they come in 3 sizes. They come in gimbals if you want. Everybody should try these out, by the way. It's a human tech broker unlock. You should really check them out. They pair perfectly with the plasma shot cannons because the flight time is the same. So I just put all shot cannons on this thing. So I put a couple of shot cannons in the small size guns, and then I split the triggers up. So the bottom 2 are on one trigger, and then the large on top and the 2 smalls are on the other trigger. And you just alternate between them, kind of like what we would do with those Guardian Shard cannons. Or even like Gauss cannons in anti-Thargoid combat. And the heat problems are majorly mitigated by that. You're just spacing this out. The distributor can keep up better because it's recharging, and you got to manage your pips, but it works fantastically. I basically I fire those 2 on the bottom and do some damage, and then as I get closer into my pass, I'll just mag dump the top one as I get really close to his ship. Okay. Get really hot on heat. Just ease off just before you start to catch on fire. It's really, really fun. That was very effective. And then I started swapping in all kinds of stuff. Right now I've got the plasma shock on top. I've got the 2 small shot cannons. Still really like those. And then I started playing around with cannons on the bottom larges. This is really excellent. This might be the most effective one, at least in the conflict zones where I was trying them out. Really, really effective because those cannons are just unmatched at taking out modules, and you can get power plant kills before you have to kill the whole hull of a ship really easily with those. Mixed with this other trigger where, like I said, I can just be up close and mag dump real quick once in a while. The cannons use very little energy. But then I also tried, I put efficient plasma accelerators in those bottom larges. And you know what? It's a little trickier. You got to do a lot more pip management, but it works. Make sure you mod them efficient, though. I tried even just one of my short range plasma accelerators is way too much for this poor little thing to keep up with. So, but what else have I tried? I tried.
Our evolution has been so different. It boggles my mind. Oh yeah.
Oh, so before I'm going to ask you what yours is, but I want to say Cyto Scramblers also, because this has 2 small hard points, and that positioning of the ship, it's the best ship ever for Cyto Scramblers. I recommend long range mod on those. They're good up to 2 kilometers. It's great. So anyway,
Chig, what's been your experience?
Yeah.
My God, like I went like the entire opposite. I bought like the base model, so I didn't have the new guns on it initially. So I started out, I went and put some pacifiers on the size 3s, and on the size 1s, I went some short range rails. Why the hell not? Because this thing is supposed to be so maneuverable, right? And I played with that, and like you said, you hit boost. This thing is freaking insane, staying on target and stuff. But you can get close and do some short range rails. So I thought I finally found the real solution to a ship that can use short range rails, but I backed away from that. Then you were praising the new guns and the tech shock, so I started playing with those a little bit, and then you guys were all about the new guns and putting cytos in the ones, right? So
yep,
I played with that, and I liked the new guns so much. These new shock plasma hybrid things, they're my new favorite gun. They are ridiculous how much fun they are, the sound, the aesthetic, everything about them. They're just a cool gun. And if you can get on target, they're a ton of fun. But I was trying to figure out the right guns to put in those size 1s. And I tried the cytos, and I found that the new guns destroyed shields so much. Cytos were
right.
I'm not going to say a dumb choice, but kind of a wasted choice.
That's why I switched to shot cannons in those smalls, because it was like more damage.
What you did. What I did is you had mentioned in chat, it's like, because people are like, if I put thermal vent on these, I can shoot all. No, that's not how thermal vent works. And you're like, if you're using thermal vent, your laser that does thermal vent to also do damage, then that's okay. So because of how these new thrusters work, if you're, lateral thruster, you hit boost and you're shooting way out, and all of a sudden your range is getting weird and you're trying to get back in position.
Mm-hmm.
I threw a couple gimbaled thermal vent beam lasers. I know it sounds silly, but you can still be doing damage and bringing your heat down while you're reloading, because like you said, you get that reload time if you let them hit 0. So that was a big problem I was having, and my cytos were interesting, but I've been having so much success using those the new guns, which I cannot express how much I love these new guns. I hate that I cannot put them on other ships, because they are fantastic. They drop shield super fast. They do a ton of damage to hull. They're just, and modules, they're ridiculous. But the way that they work is that slow reload, that if you shoot a few times, you're watching your heat, you want to try to handle what you're doing, and then all of a sudden you're out of ammo. It's like, well, now what do? I can't do damage. Boost left, boost right, and this ship sends you way the hell out there. You keep your nose as close as you can on the target, and you have these beam lasers that are also bringing your heat down at the same time. all of a sudden you're reloaded, you get back in, you engage, and I've been having so much freaking fun with that loadout that's my preferred at the moment. But I have played with frags, I've played with rails, I've played with, I decided to try building the Rocinante. I went with turreted multi-cannons and a single railgun, and I did that. And now I kind of wanted to throw torpedoes on there, how they do that in The Expanse. But I did all turreted because I'm like, this ship flings around so much. Maybe the turrets can keep shooting while I just avoid being hit. And it was fun to fly, but it didn't function as well as I was like. But it was a fun ship, and that's when I changed the name of my Kestrel. Is that what it's called? The Kestrel?
Kestrel,
Right.
yeah.
Kestrel. That's when I changed the name to Screaming Firehawk, because that was what he wanted to do. Because I'm like, I'm going to go do this, but then it didn't work as nice. Try it. It's actually kind of a fun build. But right now I'm using the new shock plasma hybrid kind of things they've got going with the thermal vent beams for when I boost to get out of the way and I still want to do some damage and bring my heat down. I get reloaded. I move back in, and then those new guns are fucking awesome. That's all I got to say.
They're
So
wild.
your preferred build to this point is the thermal beams in the small slots underneath, and the large new gun in the largest. Okay.
100%.
Yeah.
And I've
seems
done
like
a wide variety.
It kind of seems like there's nothing that doesn't work.
Yeah,
truly.
this ship's amazing.
It's just a matter of balancing your power usage, right? It's the distributor that's dealing damage on a ship this size. So
and the whole aiming thing. I mean, these thrusters are fucking insane. I mean,
it's a ride.
So there's a question I want to come back to the two of you on, but before that, Oblivious or Adaxius, do you want to weigh in on this, on what you've done with the ship?
My very scientific method for engineering ships is I usually wait about 2 or 3 days and then I copy tracks and check.
That's a good strategy.
Yeah, it works well.
Okay. Adaxius, do you have the ship?
I have no strong feelings one way or the other.
Okay.
What? Who are you?
This is the one thing that's true on, I guess.
I didn't buy it.
What about you, Roy?
If I'm going to run my mouth, it's going to be something I know I don't understand. I just don't know anything at all about the Kestrel.
I tried it briefly before diving back into power play stuff, and I was in a CZ with it. I had it was sort of like half engineered. I was really in a hurry, and I used the new guns, and I threw some. I think I had like missiles or so. I had nothing to throw in the smalls, and the character I was playing with, my alt doesn't have Cytos unlocked. And I just found I was using the new gun all the time. It's like I forgot the smalls. Mm-hmm. And after that, I went and did ran around and bought the parts to unlock the old shock cannons and put those in the smalls, and that's what I'm running currently on it. I haven't had a lot of time in seat with it. The thing I wanted to ask the both of you, being the consummate FA-off pilots that you are, is where do you see your journey going with utilizing the sort of wild lateral thrust ability on this ship? Do you have a goal, or are you just gonna how are you actually gonna use this? Trax, you want to go first?
You want to go first, Trax?
I mean,
Justin, you want to go first, Justin?
Yeah, Justin will go. The comment stands that I try to, when I push that button, unless I know exactly where I want to move, I try to be basically not touching the left stick when I pull that, because and just the slightest little input is going to send me wild. But there's two things. Boost braking is like overly effective. There's the way the thruster,
Can you explain for our audience what boost braking is?
So when you boost, and then either with dealer's choice, either with the landing gear or the cargo scoop, you drop that down right after you push the boost button. So you get this is a way for most ships until now. This was how you would try to get the positional extra thrust, like the change of direction without the overwhelming boost of speed. So anything from restructuring a bad orbit around a Thargoid to just like this is like a Corsair flying 101. Like turn around and be moving the right direction instantly in a ship that doesn't turn very well. It's this. So you boost in the Corsair, you throw the brake on, and you just spin around, and you're not going 600 meters a second. You're going 200 something, and you're going the right direction. So it's combat speed, right? Now in this ship, it's almost like too effective. You almost stop dead because it's already diverting most of the boost power to the directional thrusters for the first half of the boost. But I still end up using it sometimes because sometimes I am right on top of that Viper 3 and they are desperately trying to get away from me because I'm pummeling them beyond all reason. And they try to boost all wild the way Viper NPCs do. And if I boost, I'm gonna overshoot them like crazy. So I do this like dead boost thing with the boost braking, and then suddenly I'm just right next to him again. Or the thing that I'm very used to boost braking. I can do that all day because it's just constantly happening in other ships. But the new thing is trying to actually use this thruster for what it's for, right? So you get an FDL or something that does have enough boost pressure to get away from you. Like Anacondas just can't escape. I don't even boost most of the time in combat unless it's going to be one of these faster ships that I'm fighting against, because I can just, if I'm using my pips right, I can stay on an Anaconda and they can't turn on me. It's just not going to happen. But every once in a while somebody manages a reverse key boost turn on you or something, or it's a Viper that can actually get some distance for a second. And then the trick is, you're kind of counter thrusting. I'm not going to boost and thrust toward the ship. I actually want to boost and thrust in a big wide arc toward their engine trail, because that's the path that's going to lead me to be behind them again, so that they have to keep turning and I don't. So I'm trying to absorb some of that super positional movement of the thruster for the first second or two into almost like you're starting a Thargoid orbit, right? I'm gonna move in an angle around the ship, so that then land in the right place. And there's kind of, I'm not that good at it yet, but I can see there's an art to it there, and that's what it'll be.
What about you, Chig? What's your goals with this wild lateral thrust ability?
This ship is what you said. It's fucking wild, I think, was Trax's
like a rodeo
three-word freaking
review
description of the ship, review of the ship. Mine is, it's like, this is the first ship it feels like you have to try to tame, and like landing gear, cargo scoop, stalling just doesn't work. It's like, just enjoy the ride and just get good, scrub. It's how I've been doing this ship. I'm boosting, I'm lateral thrusting to the left and a little thrust up, but I'm trying to get the nose on something I'm on while I'm hitting boost. Yeah, good fucking luck. But as I've been doing it more, I'm able to keep myself closer in perspective. And I said this to Trax the other day. I'm like, I think this ship is going to turn people into really good pilots, because if you fly this thing for a while, it's like this super hard training simulator. You go back to another ship where it does it slower, and all of a sudden, wait, this is easy. So this ship, if you want to just practice hard mode, go use this ship, and then go back to another ship, and you're probably going to get pretty fucking good. So that's where I'm at with this. I'm trying to, I want to get to the point where, I'm pushing left lateral thruster, up thruster at the same time, yawing to the right, and I hit boost, and I can somehow keep an Anaconda in front of me. I will be super happy and enjoy it, because right now, people who've flown this, you've had to have noticed, you're flying towards a freaking Coriolis. If you hit boost while flying towards a Coriolis, which is, quite a ways away. It's moving around in the center of your thing. It's like, how is this possible? This ship is, it is a different animal, and it really feels like you need to tame it. And if you learn how to do that, you're going to destroy people in any ship you fly. It literally is. It is that different from anything I've flown.
Yeah, so I think that's true.
Maybe one last question, unless you've got other things to add to this. But one thing I noticed in the short time I had with it, and I'm not an ace combat pilot by any means, and so maybe this is what I'm about to describe is a thing that everybody who's good at PvP already knows. I don't know. So school me if I'm saying something dumb here, but when you're using a fixed weapon and you're using a leading reticule, obviously that's the dot that you got to get your nose on you shoot into that reticule, and that's where your bullets are going to hit the ship. And the thing that I've noticed in the Kestrel is how much that reticule swings around when you laterally boost. And I mean, so duh,
that's what
right?
I was just talking about.
But what I noticed though was, this is the first ship where I could, and I guess I'm not sure if this is going to turn into a technique or if this is actually useful or not. But instead of flying the ship, pointing the nose to get my nose into that reticule, what I can do is use the lateral boost to drive the reticule to the center of the the target ship.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. So that's it's super hard because how fast it moves. But I'm curious, is that already a thing, or is that just something that's now been enabled by?
It is already a thing with normal.
I was like,
boost
get there, Roy, get there.
Yeah.
I've always called it like pre-planning. You know how you have that 3 triangles around a ship in the distance. So it's vector and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
With these thrusters, you need to be massively on top of where they're going and where your thrusters are going to send you. And that's what I'm trying to dial in, is watching them. I've always known, okay, I need to, how do you know if somebody flies FA off? They tell you. Flying FA off, I'm veering the one way and I'm watching where they're going and I'm getting my vector to their vector and in position that I want to do. The thing with the Kestrel right now is it's so aggressive that changes your vector that you need to be planning even more. And is half a twist on that up thrust enough is, and it's a lot of practice. And I honestly believe you talked about it on the show last week. Is this, a way to make something more difficult and more easy at the same time? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of, it's that weird balance where skill is the true differentiator with this ship. It's literally, people ask, what's the best build for this? Well, it's not this Kestrel, because if you don't know how to fly, it's going to, a novice pilot is going to destroy you.
Yeah, you won't have time on target
in circles. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. It's what it reminded me of is one of the things that I've lamented that isn't in the game, which is a velocity vector indicator or a flight path marker. There are 2 names for it, right? That shows that when you're in FA, and I should mention, just I guess to join the club, I'll tell everyone I was flying FA off when I was doing all of this. Oh
yes, very good. Yes.
So the thing is, the agility that this has with the thrusters means that you can use the leading reticule almost like a velocity vector indicator. It's like but it's analogous to it. It's not physically the same thing, but now that you can sort of fly the reticule instead of flying
I hadn't
the ship,
thought about that,
makes
but
sense.
I'm doing that 100%.
Yeah, it's like it's like a different dimension of muscle memory that you wouldn't use in another ship this way necessarily.
So that's fun. And I was listening to you like describe pushing the reticle, and I'm like, say it. Like, yes. So this is absolutely how fixed weapon, I should say flight time fixed weapon pilot gunning works, right? So, and this isn't an FA off thing in particular, because even if your flight assist is on, you can counter thrust to do this. But when you are, yes, so the reticle is showing you your relative angular velocity to your target. Now, it's also considering your weapon's flight time, right? So that's part of it. But you can use that if you're on approach to a ship. You can use your thrusters to push that reticle onto that little reticle dot that says aim your guns here. Push, assuming I'm flying forward because I'm trying to cross a battlefield in close distance. I'm going to put that reticle on the ship. I'm going to push it onto the ship by thrusting in the opposite direction. And that's how I know I've basically matched angular velocity to my target. So now I just keep going forward, right? And we're going to collide eventually. Now they're going to move and I have to constantly adjust. This is something, we always do kind of instinctively. It's interesting that Chig said he never thought about that way, because obviously he's been doing this instinctively for ages. But in this ship, because it responds so much quicker, you don't have to plan as far. It's like when you ride a motorcycle, you think, however many seconds ahead, planning your path on the road, and you've got this constantly updating path, and that's how if something goes down and you need to adjust or move to avoid an obstacle or something, or something like that, you have these paths in your mind prepared for where you're going to lean and where you're going to take it. With other ships, I feel like you have to prepare farther in advance because you're not going to have that agility of moving that reticle. In this one, you can instantly move that reticle, and it's the other problem. So you'll over-justify so quickly. But that's what it is. You push the reticle into where you want it to be. And then likewise, if you end up in a jousting match with somebody and they've got big guns too and you don't want to get hit, now I'm actually pushing the reticle away from the other ship and still trying to lob a shot that's going to land. So sometimes I'm specifically turning way away from my target and shooting something 90 degrees from my target, but they're going to fly into the shot. And I'm going to hopefully be far enough out of their reticle that I avoid their shot. That's like the PvP mess when everybody has plasma accelerators and stuff. That's why when somebody's very good at PvP, that's what's going on. They can fly sideways and you fly into their shot. They didn't shoot you. You shot yourself to a certain extent. But anyway, that's all. It's fun hearing you guys talk about that. That is exactly what happens. And I'm by no means the best gunner out there, but I know how to push the reticle.
This is the first ship that really you can use just up thrust down. Your lateral and up and down thrusters to really move that reticule effectively, because you move so fast. Normally you're
responsive.
using pitch and roll and yaw to move that reticule. Now you can literally use your moving the plane to do that effectively, especially for small adjustments and stuff. And this is the first ship that 100% you can fly that way. So
okay,
I want to add one more thing, a tiny thing before we move on. And I said this a little bit before, but please, everybody, you like Chig, you said that new gun is so much fun. Unlock the other shot cannons, because how disappointing it is that you can't put this gun on other ships. You can put the regular shot cannons on there, and they're like 90-95% as good damage-wise.
Okay.
And they are super fun, maybe even more fun, because to be honest, the burst fire is controllable. The regular shot cannons, they're not going to hold your hand quite that much. You can let off one shot if you're careful with the trigger, but if you hold it down, they will respond to that, and it's very fun. A little higher heat, not the burst fire, but if this is, I've been using them like a sidearm in the Kestrel, right? So I have whatever guns I've loaded on, and then my smalls have these regular shot cannons, and I fire off my cannons once or twice on the way in, and then, here we go, we're going to do a very close pass, and I'll just mag dump those other things into there and spike my heat, and boy, the damage is wild. So,
well, I've been finding, I don't know if you've noticed this, or if it's just the way the Kestrel flies and the way I fly, but man, I've been ended up right in the face of other ships far more frequently than I remember in the past. And it could be the way the thrusters work and stuff, where I'm like, I need burst damage right now, and that would work nice.
That's what it is. These are the shot cannons. Both varieties really are a versatile gun. They can let off 1 or 2 shots at a time and hit at range, and the damage fall off is quite good too. They're good up to 2,500 meters. So and it's 1,200 meters a second velocity, so pretty fast for a flight time gun in this game. So pretty good at range for letting off a little bit of damage at a time. And then, but when you get up close, it is like the size 1 fixed shot cannon is like 68 DPS. So if when you're making that close, a size 1, I am telling you, man, it's wild, and it's a ton of heat, but you can do it, and you don't want to hold this down for more than a second, but that's an incredible amount of damage on this size. Yeah, on this size of a gun, and they come in size 2. They come in gimbals. For those of you who like gimbals, everybody should be trying these out on all their ships. I think it is best on a pretty nimble ship, like a Corsair is probably not the best ship for this, but your Python 2s are going to be absolutely insane with shot cannons. It is that combo of this gun can burst damage, and this gun can let off a couple of shots at range too and still be accurate. So, everybody should be checking them out for all your ships.
Do you find yourself, like Roy mentioned, the size 1s? That's where I ended up on these beams, because I did find myself just kind of, it was like a sidearm that you'd pull out. The size 1s I just was forgetting about.
Well, I've got my triggers arranged so the bottom 2 guns on the Kestrel are 1 trigger, and the top 3, so a large and 2 smalls, are the other trigger. So I've got plasma on this one because it can use the plasma shock. I've got plasma shock and then 2 small shot cannons, and then on the bottom there's whatever I want. I could put 2 more plasma shocks down there on the other trigger. I have cannons on there right now. Plasma accelerators can work.
Do you do that because of the
frag
convergence?
Cannons can work.
Yeah,
it helps. Like it's a small ship, but actually the top gun and the bottom guns are pretty far apart for a small ship. In my opinion,
I was noticing that. Yeah.
So I like to split the triggers basically top and bottom, and that makes it a little easier. But whatever you want, frags, cannons, plasma, anything on the bottom, multi cannons, who cares? And then try it out. Try the top 3 as plasma shock and 2 small shot cannons on a Kestrel, and that's your I'm finishing my close pass on the ship and I just wail on them, or in between rounds from the cannons, if it's a Python or something that I can just hug the rear end of, or an Anaconda or something. It's cool.
For clarity, against NPCs, I have not found a loadout that this ship does not rip ass. This thing, you can play with.
Rip ass?
Every loadout kills somewhere
running out of
between,
the good superlatives.
Every loadout kills. I've been testing them in power CZs and BGS CZs because it has to be tougher ships, or I literally can't tell the difference between how effective my builds are.
100%.
But because they're all killing somewhere between fast and extremely fast.
Yeah. This ship literally against NPCs is insane. I've only fought 1 actual pilot, and I didn't have enough ammo left to stick around. This is when I was running frags and and my railgun fight, and I was fighting NPCs, and all of a sudden it was a power CZ, and those that group that was out there. And then one guy showed up on his own, and I'm like, I actually said it all good, dude, I'm out of ammo, and I ran away, and I said, hit me up, we'll fight again. Then we friended each other, we chatted, and we haven't had a chance to fight yet. But literally, against NPCs, there is no loadout that this ship will not just. What did I say? Rip ass before? Rip ass. Yeah.
Rip ass.
That's my 2-word review of the Kestrel. Rip ass.
5 stars. This ship rips ass.
Yes.
Is there anything? Is there anything else we want to share about the Kestrel that you think our audience would find interesting?
My only thought was, do you guys think they take the reception to how this pushes the flight model and adapt that to a medium or a large ship.
Agile boost thrusters on a medium. I mean,
well, it was on the test server. They were putting these thrusters on medium and large ships.
They do
maybe
the
maybe that wasn't a mistake.
I think that would be an interesting thing, right? To have a large ship that's obviously not as agile as this, but then has this ability to boost like that. Be interesting.
Ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. I mean, honestly.
The Panther Clipper Mark
10
III.
hard points. Throw this on a Type 10. Jesus Christ.
the Type 100.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it needs to be specialty kind of ships. This, if you want to talk power creep, this is a power creep ship, but it does take a lot of skill. Like I said, if I had a friend over, it's like, hey, sit down, play this game for the first time and put him in this ship. He's never going to play the game again because he's not going to be able to hit anything. He's not going to know what he's even doing. So, I think
it's a while before I bet it's a while before we see reused specialization techniques.
Yeah.
Right. Because we see that the technique now is like the first year of ships or year or so of ships was just make new, better ships. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, well, holy crap, we can't keep doing that forever. So we use these specialized modules to give them a particular edge without it just being raw Mandalay after Mandalay after Mandalay. And that's fine. But I predict it'll be a while before we see one that does quite the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Before they have to reuse it.
All right. And with that, we'll move on from that discussion. Thank you. It was very insightful. We do have one more segment here. Let's see, where is it? Oh, here we go.
Community Corner. Here's where we pretend we have friends.
And I'm not responsible for that one.
Someone did it.
Daxie, you're up.
Imagine Roy did it. Or would it be tech specialist Fred?
We'll blame it on Fred.
Blame it on Fred. Well, we do have Community Corner, and maybe we do have friends. We've got a link in here for the lovely folks at the Burr Pit speculating about the feature update. Now, I wonder. Yeah, so a lot of scuttlebutt about it being BGS 2.0.
Did I already spoil this? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think so. I want it to be the anti-aliasing. I understand.
Okay,
I
understand how feature of the game.
I understand how naive that sounds.
Jello's like, yes.
But hey, man can dream.
Well, we know they won't do it unless I say it. So
yeah.
Did we say this on the show? I discovered the cure for fixing anti-aliasing.
Oh, what's that?
Just move your chair back a foot or two.
It's like either that or take your glasses off, right?
Yeah, one of the two. Take off your glasses.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then they got the ARC store sales bobbleheads.
Oh my god.
Bobbles.
So whoever's buying bobbles.
I want the power play bobblehead. God damn it. You guys failed me this week.
I want a bobblehead of my own commander in the Hollow Me that I made. Just a little me that pops around.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yep.
Okay.
He can pretend he has friends that look like him.
Does anyone have anything else
no,
to share?
Not after that takedown. I got nothing.
Okay.
My goodness.
All right. Well, thank you, Commander Chig.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Commander Trax, Jan Trax.
No, thank you. You're so good at this.
He is.
Thank you, Commander Oblivious.
Host forever.
All right. And thank you, Commander Daxius.
Bitte schön, meine Herren.
All right. If you'd like to chat. That's in my contract, yeah. If you'd like to chat with the crew and join in on the fun, you can find us at loosescrewsed.com. You'll find a link there to our Discord. Please come and join us. And we also have a Patreon used for supporting our community. So Thanks to all our listeners for hanging out with us. And thanks again to Lave Radio for that awesome event over the weekend. And thank you to Special Effect. I'm glad we were all able to help in some small way with that. So with that, say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.